Hey everybody, Debo and Nate Dog here. Welcome to another Diablo 3 from a casual. I'm looking at it. Diablo 3 from a casual point of view, episode number 22 now, because the last one was 21.
Okay.
All right, both of us are in the camera, looking great, fantastic.
I got my Filipino shirt on.
True Filipino symbol, the Philippine caribou. Carabao? Caribou?
Caribou.
What's a caribou?
It's a bovine, but it's a working animal. You don't eat them.
But why don't you fucking eat them? They're delicious.
Because it's not a cow.
It's
a bovine. A cow is a bovine. A bovine is the species that a cow belongs to. It's a type of bovine.
So you don't eat it?
It's not an eating animal. It's a working
I'd
animal.
eat the fuck out of a caribou and grind that nigga into hamburger if I could.
Carabao.
Caribou. Like, that's not black. We say caribou, it's carabao. Caribou?
There is an animal called a caribou.
Oh, what's a caribou?
I think it's a type of deer.
So you have to say
So
carabao.
carabao.
Got you.
Yeah.
Anyways, we bring you a week to bi-weekly talk about what's going on in the world of Diablo, and just to keep you guys informed so you don't have to sit through all those terrible forum posts that people just say the most craziest, malicious, horrible things like,
But isn't that the fun thing to do? Go.
this game is going on the apocalypse and we're all gonna die and we're gonna burn in the fire because the game's so bad. We should all go back to Diablo 2. People post forums like that.
Go back to Diablo 1, that's old school.
And then they won't say nothing about that post, but the one guy who like asked a question about like, you know, trading and shit, they delete that form and close that thread down really quick, but the other guy who said all that stuff they're okay with. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. How you doing, hey Doug? How have things been for you in the world of Diablo? Anything that you've noticed, anything that really piqued your interest or you thought, hey, this is pretty cool. What has been going on with your Crusader and your adventures?
I got some new equipment. They're upgrades to existing, so I think I got new boots.
Okay.
So it's the same boots, but they're new, so they had slightly better stats.
Okay. Man, that's solid.
Yeah.
480 strength, 490, 96 all resistance, and the shield damage. I give you a high five for that. I know people are gonna hate you now more though, right?
That's alright, dude. Everybody hates me. I noticed the treasure goblins are appearing on the screen now. On the
yeah, they did put the little mini map. That's a little hot fix. Do you like that? I like that.
I like it. At first I was like, oh my god, special goblin! Kill it till it stops moving. Wait, where's the portal?
That's just you thought? Yeah.
I thought it was a special goblin that was going to take me to Whimsyshire.
Yeah, that's not how it is. I'm trying to think here. That was that goblin.
I still haven't gotten any special goblin rifts.
You can't get them inside a rift or a greater rift. It has to be in
I'll
bounties.
never get them then. I've been doing rifts forever.
Yeah. Well, have you been enjoying your rifts? What you been doing? Mostly regular rifts or greater rifts?
Both. I did a bunch of greater or normal, and then went to greater. I got to level 21.
Oh, congratulations!
Well, I actually got 2 to level 21, and I couldn't beat it.
Okay.
So then I would just do a bunch, gain some levels, and then I did my graders.
And then you upgraded your gems and stuff. Rank 9, rank 3 Wreath of Lightning. Do you like the Wreath of Lightning?
Yeah. I don't know why.
There's all that damage and everything going on. It's a good base level gem to start off with. It's not one of the best for the Crusader class, but later on, you know, you can always switch up and go different gems.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got some new boots, and boots are fantastic. There's some greater rips and stuff like that, and
I
got
did
some
get
items
some
and stuff.
equipment. Oh, okay, so I'm like, I'm playing the game, and a mace drops, and I'm like, okay, I feel it in my soul. This is a mace I've never picked up before. I can feel it. And I pick it up, I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen that one. And I identify it, and it's not the one I'm looking for.
Casting Consecration also casts Consecration beneath all your allies. Oh, well, yeah, it's not that great.
Well, but I'm looking for the one that makes it so I can spam my shield.
Blessed Shield, right.
So, apparently there's another one I still need to find.
Well, I mean, you
I
can
felt it within the soul of my groin. And I found this, which is, alright, critical.
Some people still give you shit because you're not using your furnace.
Wow.
If you guys don't know what the history of the furnace is, if you're ever out there struggling for a furnace, keep in mind Nate Dogg has one that's unslotted, sits in his inventory, damn near pretty much high perfect rolls, high int, high vitality, max damage percent. He hasn't touched his stat on it, so actually he can roll this base damage and probably get up to 3,700 DPS furnace, and he also has 46% elite damage. Now I want you to get this to your brain, like if you've been searching for a furnace, he has a furnace in his inventory just sitting there and he's not even using it.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. People have been messaging me about that. You know, one guy messaged me last time. He said, "Hey, Debo, tell Nate Dogg if he doesn't put his furnace on, I'm gonna fucking cut him." I'm like, calm down. He's like, no, he needs to know. I'm tired. I've been playing for 500 fucking hours, and I still haven't found that shit in seasons. It's stupid.
I found this one that's better than what I have. So I'm trying to figure out how to get this, because I think that's pretty good.
Oh, if you're using a fire skill. Yeah.
Well, just the stats, the crit chance, and
it
all
also
that.
depends on what build, but yeah, that's very solid.
I also picked up one of the glove set for
with
the
the shield
set.
blast, sweep attack, aiming grasp, 20% attack speed for 3 seconds.
Yeah,
I
you know what's funny is I didn't like Akarat's Champion. I think I like this one even less.
Yeah, a lot of people say it sucks, so they got to go back and redeal with it and see what's going on.
But so I reorganized. So these are all my greens and/or stuff I'm trying to use. This is. I got another potion. I got the other. I think I got all the gems.
Well, Pain Enhancer is very strong. That's a nice one because I don't know if you use a lot of physical skills, but it applies that dot, which is really pretty solid. Bane of the Trap is good if you got some impairing effect skills that you can do. The pet one's good, of course, if you have pets, and the swiftness one's pretty nice. But like the Wreath of Lightning is just extra damage. And I know we're gonna get to a point on the show where we're just gonna redo your whole Crusader and make it like the best cookie cutter build because I'm pretty sure you got all the gear to run
I've got
cookie
the
cutter
helmet.
stuff. And you got your Leorg's Crown, 90%. It's not 100, but I mean that's still real good though.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I grabbed the helmet to replace this one, and then I have the belt to replace this one. But my overall damage
Goes down a lot.
My overall damage goes down too much. So I'm still waiting to find a better whatever.
All right, so the Crusader looks pretty solid as always, growing slowly in power. So we'll just keep running the Grid of Rifts, and then we'll come to the whole point where I guess eventually we'll have a day where we just we take all the best gear and just build them cookie cutter like.
Are you gonna pimp my ride?
No, I'm not gonna pick you. It's just so fucking. It's so bad. I can't believe I walked into that.
That was
Anyways.
good.
On to the issues of Diablo. We were talking about last time on the last show. We were discussing everything that was going on between the patches, Keldala changes, little things of that nature. Today we're going to start off with Turbo HUD. Nate Dogg, being a casual player, I got to ask you, do you know what Turbo HUD is?
Judging by the name, it has something to do with your HUD. And something to make it turbo.
You remember a while back, I don't know if we were talking, I don't think it was on the show, we were just discussing how it would cool to be if they had stuff like it marked like how they mark like the treasure goblins on the map, or if they mark like treasure chests, shrines, so you can kind of see it on the screen and you know where things are at, or something that tells you how much damage you're doing, or like an item. Basically with Turbo HUD, it takes all those ideas that you wanted to and does it to the max. There was a nice creator of the Turbo HUD. He made it's a third-party application. It's not supported by of course, the agreement of what you click for Blizzard, but you know, it's not too bad on the first forefront. It does things like it automatically like grays out or kind of like blocks on an item that's just not going to be good for you no matter what. And then like other items that are good for you that you actually want to look at, it makes them lit up. They do cool things like that. They do things that tell you how much damage you're taking, what your healing per second is, what your actually damage per second is. It actually has it to the point where on your skills it tells you how much range of damage you can possibly do on your skills. So let's say that you had a sweeping attack that does, based on what your gear and what damage and all the affixes and everything that you have, it tells you will do between 5 and 7 million damage. You won't do more than this, you won't do less than this.
Right.
So it takes it to the max and it provides the player with more information. You ever see World of Warcraft how people have all that kind of extra...
Like they're just looks
they download a bunch of extra add-ons to make the game more interactive for them. It's like that. There's been a big issue though. The creator actually developed it to the point also it tells you what monster affixes are in the next room and things like that, like whether it's thunder or electricity or mortar jailer. So it has all that stuff, and it makes it so that, like, say for instance, if you're hunting key wardens, you'll have it marks a key warden on the map. You could see it right away. You can get to it. Now, he did disable it for greater risk because he did say that it can give an unnatural advantage to somebody who's doing a rift. Like, if you could tell, like, if it's a crazy mob in this room, you can just skip the mob altogether, whereas a guy who doesn't have it can't tell. He disabled it for greater rifts. And what basically happened after that, as I tell you the whole story, is that they reverse engineered this program and re-enabled it to be used in Greater Rifts because the creator didn't want it used in Greater Rifts. It defeats the whole purpose.
Right.
So they reverse engineered it. They have a turbo HUD and they have a turbo HUD hacked. The hacked version is what people do when they want to add all the shit that kind of gets to the point of, okay, you're really not supposed to do this. Mm-hmm. The program reads all the information off the data of your RAM, or reads everything off your RAM. So while you're playing, it detects it reads it through your RAM. It's not like a thing that configures or touches your files or anything like that.
Huh.
So they say that Blizzard can't really tell who uses it. So I don't know if that's true or not.
I doubt that.
But overall, how do you feel about the whole thing and how that's been going? Oh, well, keep in mind, there was a DH 2 weeks ago. He did admit he got to #1 spot in Greater Rifts. He's really high up on the Greater Rifts. Actually, let me take a look here. His name is Nylon, and he said, I admitted to cheating. I used this program to get an advantage on the Greater Rifts. He is still up there. Gabinator is at 49. I don't know if that's legit or not. And then you got Nyan, who showed off the thing, which got up to 46. And I think I know how he got to 49. I'll tell you in a moment. But basically, this guy got to 46 saying, hey, I use this program to get an advantage, and go ahead. And this was Turbo HUD. So how do you feel about everything? What do you, from a casual point of view, I would imagine you wouldn't care too much because you don't give a fuck about rankings, right?
No, I mean, in terms of what I care about, it doesn't really bother me. In terms of how it should be, I think the original creator had their idea right. It'd be better just to know some things than to not.
Right. So you're saying basically things like how they added the goblin to the map, things like that, people can appreciate and it'll be for the betterment of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a lot easier to know just in the sense of you can play whatever this one is, Act 3, where you're in the catacombs and it's the barracks and it's all twisty-turny and it's like, I just want to get to the next part.
Right.
So if I know that there's a person over here, I'll walk that way. There's nothing worse than walking and you're just fighting 1-2 guys and you're just bored out of your mind. So in terms of using it, it's cool. I don't think I'll use it because I don't want to add more crap to my computer. I need it to stay fast because...
Right.
I don't mind it too much.
I think so too. I don't mind it. The only thing I mind it with, if you're going to use it outside of Greater Rifts, that's fine. But when you're using it for rankings, I think, okay, well, you can't have that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Even like when it's non-hardcore, even non-hardcore, I can kind of understand. But the point where it really kills it for me is, I think it's really wrong is in hardcore. Because the whole point of hardcore is you're not supposed to know what's behind the door.
Yeah.
So you can just kind of just, oh, well, that one's crazy. I'll just walk around that day. When the regular hardcore player has to risk his life because he doesn't know what's in there. So for hardcore, they say like a lot of top players are using it, and like it's pretty much mandatory if you go past certain levels, or like because if you don't know what's coming on, you'll die. Mm-hmm. So a lot of hardcore people have been using that. So I don't think it should be used in Greater Rifts. Blizzard hasn't said anything about it. They haven't discussed anything about it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're gonna have an official. Like, are they gonna start banning people?
Or? The forums have been kind of. I feel like 90% of the people do not like it in the game. They said either give it to everybody in a patch and everybody gets the HUD and it's done by Blizzard, or no one gets it. And I can understand, hey Blizzard, take this idea, run with it. Put it in your game and then restrict it and just say, okay, we gave you guys everything you need to see. So now if you get another program that shows you even more information that we don't want you to see, we don't want you to see it, it serves a purpose in the game, now it's illegal. Yeah. Because some things I can agree with the Turbo HUD should be in the game. Some of the things in the overlay are pretty nice. I don't like the damage counter being there because if it has a damage counter, then people will start kind of like being like, oh, you don't have this much damage, or if people can start reading your damage, oh, you're not, you say your stats and your items are good, but your damage this horrible, and you need to, it will start basically having people just kind of get in people's faces about their damage, and oh look, I'm doing the most damage, then we don't want that. You got a whole group of people who's doing damage and none of them can take a hit. So I agree with it on that. I I think. Well, do you think anybody who's used it to their advantage should be banned, or you think they should suspend it, or you think they should just basically kind of mulligan the season? What do you think?
I think it's one of those things you can't really.
Because I don't think it's ban worthy.
If it says in there that you're not allowed to use third party products,
that's true. And
if it says in there, then you're violating terms. Yeah, I mean, I think they have a right to ban them because you are using the product unintended of its creation.
Mm-hmm.
But will they? No, they won't. They could legally, you know. I don't think they will. I think they're just going to let it go, and then once the season's over, they'll have a decision and they'll make a statement based off of that.
I think they're waiting for the end of season to kind of go off and doing about that. And this is going to lead into the other thing. We basically discussed what Turbo HUD is. Everybody knows what's up. Let's go into the overall Blizzard silence. Why do you think Blizzard's just not making any comments about all these exploits with all these people? Even the guy who got rank 1 and said he cheated the way there. Why do you think Blizzard's not saying anything about it? Because I'm blind by rage, so I can't tell. But what is your calm, cool perspective on why they don't probably comment on any of this stuff?
It's probably because it's inevitable.
Right.
When you run the game this way, meaning whoever gets the highest, and we talked about this last time, you make it highest, then you go for levels beyond that, whatever, right? You're limiting yourself in the game. The goal is to get the best items and the best stuff to get the highest. Mm-hmm. Well, they kind of brought it on themselves as soon as they instituted this kind of playing. People are going to find ways to do the best because...
So you said basically, instead of focusing on ranking and leaderboards, maybe adding some type of other content that wasn't basically making leaderboards. Basically... You're saying something that maybe instead of leaderboards, maybe we could have had something like a gym leveling system or a plan to add in like another act or some quest or something like that. So take the focus away from leaderboards.
The problem is as soon as they instituted the leaderboard idea, as the game focused away from storyline. Yeah, you play the storyline once and then you just go to leaderboards or ladders, whatever. Because that is now the thing you're supposed to be doing with the game. The whole concept of the game has changed. Now it's about grinding, getting the items, getting to number 1. Well, once you did that, you have, like I was saying, you run into that problem we talked about last time. This is just another way for someone to get into it. So I think the reason they're not saying anything is because what are they to do? Mm-hmm. So you could go, well, they'll make the rifts easier so you can climb higher. Okay, so instead of it being level 49, it'll be level 89. The ladder concept was a flawed concept.
Right.
Either that or they were doing it at the tailwind of Diablo's life.
Right.
And it's the end of the game and they don't care. Plus, they're Blizzard. I'm sure they have a million other things.
Sorry, my computer's being a little abnormally loud.
Yeah. I mean, they're Blizzard. They've got a lot of other things that they need to figure out. It's not just Diablo. So Diablo's kind of on the way out, and something else is on the way in.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think it's just because they can do nothing that they're doing nothing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. That made very much sense.
Yeah, I really wish they would talk about it, or at least just say, we're aware of the issue, we're aware of this, please don't download Turbo HUD, it does violate the terms of service, we're looking into something and maybe either implementing in the future or basically not doing it. But we just want to keep you guys in the loop. Do you think they can afford to do that, or do you think that would be really bad for Blizzard, or they shouldn't say anything at all? Like, from your perspective, do you think they should try to comment about this kind of stuff? Or maybe they should just leave it alone, or...
I think it's the kind of thing about, if you talk about it, it exists.
Yeah, somebody else said that too.
As long as Blizzard just kind of stays quiet about it, it's never a problem. That's where the term, let's address the white elephant in the room.
Right. So you're saying basically if they never admit to it, then it's like it doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they've never made a statement on it, then you could never have... There's never any evidence saying this is wrong, this is not.
I guess. I could see that.
If you never had an opinion on gay marriage, which I'm not getting into that, if you've never made an opinion, no one can look back in 10 years and go, Debo said this.
Yeah, that's very true, too.
So that's why I think there is nothing.
That's
to
something
say.
I've been really wondering, and that's right. And they could just basically knock it out one post and just basically let everybody know what's up and just be done with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more for a company. At times, I'm more for a company that's the Iron Fist over the Velvet Glove. I'd rather them just get it done and get it over with. I don't need updates. Oh, this is the measures we're taking to counter hackers. I don't need to know that. I just need you to fix it.
Yeah, I guess that's very true.
So, I mean, in certain situations, for a video game company. Now, if my credit card information got stolen like they did with Sony, which mine didn't, I want to know every fucking step what you're doing. But when it's something that has nothing to do with me personally, I just want you to fix it. I don't really care what your update is.
That's true.
I don't even want to know when it's done.
Because even if they tell you that they're fixing the issue, it still doesn't give you... You just want it to be fixed.
Yeah, it's not a peace of mind. It's the opposite. It's making it worse.
I can understand that.
I mean, that's just how I see it.
Well, right on. Alright, so that covers Blizzard's silence. Greater Rift solo exploit. You ready for this one?
I don't know how
Are you ready for this one? So, let's go down the line of what we know in the game that's happened.
Okay.
The exploitable bounties, which have been hotfixed and removed. The endless
Why do you
goblin...
tell me these after?
The...
Can't you tell me the day before they go down so I can at least, get a couple levels out of it?
The endless goblin farming, which is still in the game, but they're going to fix that next season.
Endless goblin farming?
Remember when you get the goblin rift and you fight the boss, she drops goblins every time she crashes into the wall? That... also, what's the next issue? The Greater Rift, the Paragon level exploiting, that's done.
What was that one?
Basically, when you would stay outside the group where all your experience items, they go and kill stuff and you get all the experience and you set it to T6 and it gives you all that crazy experience. That's gone. They hotfixed that. Now we know about the Turbo HUD that people are using, but now the new exploit that people are actually using right now
is a combination of 3.
4 people get inside the group. They all open up the Greater Rift. Everybody leaves. Except for the one person that clears. Person that clears goes in, kills all the mobs. Spawns the boss. Everybody else comes back into the game. Gets the boss to low health. Everybody leaves the game except for that one person again. That one person kills the boss by themselves. That person ranks as solo when he had 3 people helping him.
See? I told you shit like that was going to happen.
So...
I mentioned it like 4 episodes ago.
That is the new thing. So basically now, you can get people... I don't know if they hotfixed it. I think it's still in the game. Blizzard hasn't said anything about it. They haven't added anything to the hotfix, so I'm pretty sure it's still in the game. But you can get a 4-person group party, and then you leave the one person in the group, long story short, and they get ranked, but they had all those people helping them through the whole way. Or at least at the point where the Rift Guardian and stuff like that will cause problems. So, like a couple Barbarians did this, because Barbarians have really good AoE and they can kill trash mobs and do pretty good with elites, but they have a problem with the Rift Guardian. They're very bad at killing Rift Guardians, so that's what they did. So anybody can really do this, and anybody can get ahead on the leaderboard, so it's causing problems. That's why we saw that DH49. I highly doubt that DH did 49. I'm pretty much sure that DH did not do 49.
There were others.
Because it's like 44, 44. The guy who admitted who he cheated 46, and then you got the 49. So I'm pretty sure that Gabinator, the guy who did it, he probably used that, or he did something. Because to be realistic, if somebody wants to defend him, you can, but 49 solo by a Demon Hunter, 44, yeah, 45, 46 if you get real lucky, but to jump 3 levels like that up to 49...
And that means he completed it, right?
It means he completed it.
So he actually got to 50 and failed.
So... yeah, he pretty much used that shit. I'm pretty sure there's other people who did it too. And the craziest thing is when people were actually getting mad at me that I was telling them I just want the game to be balanced. And they say, oh, you're just complaining. I'm like, I'm not complaining. I just want all the bullshit to be bad game.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, see, the problem is every time...
How do you feel about that? How does that make you feel?
To me, that's...
To you don't care because I know you don't compete at that level, right?
Well... To me, I go, do it. You know why? Because I called this as soon as they announced they were doing groups. I told you this was going to happen. Not you, but I said it. That they were going to power level people. You would go in, and then people would leave, and they clear. I said that 4 months ago. Go ahead and use the exploit, because you know what? they listened to the show, they would have known it was possible. I don't understand why they just don't
and they
have
haven't reset yet.
brainstorms.
They haven't.
But how do they not have brainstorming people go, okay, this is what we're trying to employ.
You know what?
Let's brainstorm and see, people might do that. Let's find a way to counter that.
You know what? I'll say this, though. To Blizzard's defense, I think what it is they developed the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
8 hours, maybe sometimes 10 hours a day. Just because you develop and you make these great ideas doesn't mean you're a player. You know what I'm saying? You can go to work and do 8 to 10 hours, and the last thing you want to come do is play your Demon Hunter character for a job you just did. You're like bringing the work home. If you try to do that in front of your wife and kids, your wife and kids are going to be like, honey, didn't you just program 10 hours a day on Diablo for the new patch? Yeah, but I need to play it now. No.
That's
the only thing I can think
I
of.
agree with you, but at the same time, that's not really a player's point of view. Like, I can understand that, like, with the Pokemon card game and Magic, the people that create the cards don't play the game. That's why you get all these infinite loopholes, and they have to ban cards every year. But this is just, okay, well, we're going to introduce seasons. Okay, what are seasons going to entail? Solo, groups of 2, groups of 3, groups of 4. Wait, what if someone comes in and then leaves, and then they'll get all the experience solo, even though it's a multi-person thing? Okay, let's take countermeasures. How could you not do that?
Yeah, that is true.
You're
Plus, they had the PTR.
Exactly. I mean, you're right in that sense that people that often make the stuff don't necessarily play the stuff or, enjoy the stuff. They are contracted to make a model of boots. These are the boots. This is another pair of boots I made. That's what they do. They don't necessarily play the games. But, yeah, I go ahead and exploit the glitch because you know what? I called that 6 months ago. So yeah. Exploit.
Alright, so that was that discussion with the whole game of explosion. The Kaldala changes is going to be the closing part of our whole thing today. People swear up and down Kaldala has been nerfed. That she's not giving as many legendaries, and it's mentally frustrating now. Even though some people have scientifically proven, or they've showed over a course of numbers, that she actually did get buffed. Mm-hmm. I can understand that, but my whole point is this. Blizzard, if it ain't broke, then don't fix it. And my whole thing is, people like me know better. I know I'm getting more legendaries. But John and Martha, who played Diablo together, who came back just to play a little bit so they get something to do until World of Warcraft gets their next expansion, come back to Diablo. Oh my gosh, count all the things is 25 points. This shit's so expensive. Then they gamble. Then they don't get nothing, and they say, "Oh, they made this game stupid." That's what I told people. It's
I see that. I see what you're saying.
You know,
I don't think she was nerfed. I think I got like 2 legendaries, just going through the motions.
But see, you're intelligent. We also did a show, so you know, and I explain and we talk about it. But do you see like how I think people can come in and look at it and just be overwhelmed? Like, what the hell, 100 for a fucking weapon? What kind of shit is that? And you gamble 5 weapons and you get nothing.
Yeah. I agree with you on if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And unfortunately, every time they try and fix something that's not broke, it breaks it.
They said that they didn't want Kaldala to end up being just a basic way for you to get crafting mats. And I'm sitting there like, well,
what do you care?
It's not like there's in-game crafting mats. Or, I mean, there's certain things you craft, but it's just so weird that they did that because, I mean, some of the best gear in game is not craftables from drops.
I just don't care. I just don't understand why you care where the craft material comes from.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's not like there was a special rift that you can do where all it does is drop crafting stuff. So normally you'd break down a gold and you get 1 crafting, but when you open a treasure chest, instead of getting gold, you get 10 crafts. And that's how you're supposed to get your crafting stuff. Oh, and then people are doing it this way and they're not even using the crafting portal. Why do you care where they get it from? Mm-hmm. That's what I don't get. We said this last time. I know Kildala got buffed. I think it's too much. I would rather it have gone up a little bit and only got a little bit more of a buff, as opposed to going up a lot and getting even more of a buff. I would rather go from like 35 to 50 instead of 35 to 75.
Well, I can see that.
I just see it that way. That makes the most sense to me.
Well, the way I feel is either way, I always tell people, it doesn't matter what they do or what they change, we're going to have to deal with this, so just get over it. I hate to say it like that. I don't mean it to be mean, but they're not going to change it back, so you just got to kind of deal with it. But it'd be nice if Blizzard maybe even put like a note when you're gambling, or maybe make a chest. Like I always say, they should make a chest, right? And when you open this chest, you have a chance to get a legendary of that specific item slot, and then they give you some gold crafting materials and some gems or something. Mm-hmm. And then make the prices like, if you want a legendary chest of gloves, it's 250 blood shards. And when you open it, it's like a cache. Shit showers everywhere, and then if you get a legendary, okay. If not, you get crafting mats, some jewels, and some other stuff. I think that would be pretty cool if they did it that way.
Yeah, I think...
Because gambling at the prices that they have, even though you know that it's been buffed, it sets that negative aspect in your brain where you're like, this is horrible, I need a weapon.
That's very true.
You know, and it makes people depressed, and I'm thinking, if it makes people feel depressed, then that's going to hurt the casual type of players. Not that casuals are not bad. I mean, some of the casual players in our top World of Warcraft guilds, casual just means you don't have a lot of time to play.
I think if you wanted to do the cash thing, they should also institute, unless you get a legendary, don't even give me an item, just give me the mat.
Give you gold, give you the mats, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, why do I need to, honestly, if you hit level 70, how often are you going to gamble for a yellow and go, oh, this yellow is better? Once you get to a certain point, you don't even look at yellows anymore.
No, you don't.
So just give me the crafting material.
Yeah. Saves you time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like 30 seconds to do to go over there and craft all, or break down all.
I call it what you're basically suggesting, streamlining the experience in a positive way.
Yeah, every time they try and fix something, it makes problems, and that's the problem.
Well, I mean, that pretty much concludes everything about the show. I'll ask you one more thing. Your homework for this week, Nate Dogg, is just to do some bounties, man.
Let's
see if we can get you some Ring of Royal Grandeur. Also,
I already got that.
Or just basically, or not a better one, or just see if you can get a Goblin Vault, because you need to do the Goblin Vault badly.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about the new sewer thing that we were going to talk about.
Yeah, Cesspool. How did you like that?
I liked it. A new map. Holy shit, I enjoyed it. You walk through. You haven't seen it yet, huh?
Nathan?
I got it twice.
Nate Dogg, how many hours a week do I play this game?
You say last I talked to you, you said you hadn't gotten it.
Look at my face. Ask me if I've seen the cesspool.
Have you seen the cesspool?
Yes. You know what happened in the cesspool, Nathan? Lag.
Really? I didn't.
And the Greater Rifts and all the spawning and everything. So they got so bad. You know what they did to the cesspool in Greater Rifts, Nate Dogg? They removed it.
Oh, wow.
Cesspool's cool. I would like to see more environments like that. And then maybe in Greater Rifts they have only certain maps. But just running Rifts, let me tell you, Cesspool is cool.
Yeah, it's so great to actually have a new map. I am so tired of running the same map. At least some of them are interesting because they have the twists and turns, like the barracks. You don't know which way you're supposed to be going. But the cesspool is great. You walk down the sewer and you gotta knock open the other side, and oh crap, and you knock open the other side. It was great. I loved it. New content!
So, basically you're saying, put in new maps, add more cool shit like that.
Yeah.
Leave it out of Greater Rifts for right now, but just get cool shit into the game so people can look at something different and feel something different.
I mean, you don't have to do something every week, but once a month. 3 months. Once every 3 months, a new map.
Wouldn't it be cool if they took some of the old Diablo 2 maps, recreated them in Diablo 3, and kept the same monsters from Diablo 3, but like it's like a random thing now where you can just go in and it'll be like a Diablo 2 map? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a coder, but I think it'd be kind of difficult to actually go from 2 to 3. They'd probably have to recreate the maps.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind walking through some of the smaller maps in Diablo 2. That'd be great. Shit, if you really wanted to, considering how short Diablo 1 is, you could get an ultra rare one where you actually play Diablo 1. You actually go through the catacombs.
Wouldn't that be funny if you like actually went to that area, then it changes how your character looks, so it looks like the skills are same and exactly the same, but you look like an old pixelized fucking character from Diablo?
Maybe for April Fool's Day.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right,
that's our idea. You can't steal it, Blizzard.
Well, it was a good show. That concludes episode number, I think I said 22.
22, Dos.
And make sure you guys check out all the stuff on the YouTube. Make sure you guys check out in the channel description on the Twitch page. I've been streaming Sunday through Thursdays, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 7. After the stream is over at 7 p.m., I do a couple hours of what is it? I do a couple hours of alternate games like League of Legends. I've been doing a lot, and I got a League of Legends the King Fiddlesticks where I'm climbing how high I can get with Fiddlesticks. That'll be like a little new side thing I'm doing. And then also,
Fiddle DD.
if you check in the description, I do have a schedule for the stream, so it gives you a rough idea. Friday and Saturday is going to be kind of up in terms of time, but Sunday through Thursday, 11 in the morning till 7 o'clock at night, I'll be streaming. And sometimes I get on a little bit earlier, just to get a little bit more consistency. And check that out. And the description section's updated. I think I said description like 2 or 3 times. It's in this. It's below what you see in the channel. But as always, we appreciate you guys watching. We will see you guys either the next week or then within the next 2, because this show is bi-weekly or every week, because there's only so much information about Diablo.
Yeah.
And we got some other shows coming out for you guys that'll involve more stuff in the video game industry, so just look forward to that. But until then, until it's that time, Nathan, leave us with some words of encouragement.
Never give up, never surrender. What's that from? What's that from?
Never give up, never surrender? What is that off of?
It's Toy Story. It's Buzz Lightyear. No, it's not. I'm joking. No, that is Tim Allen. That's from Lost Planet, I think. It's from this Tim Allen movie where it's like Star Trek, but it's not Star Trek.
We'll see you guys next week.
It's a good movie. It's not called Lost Planet. It's not Lost in Space.
Never give up, never surrender.
Never give up, never surrender.
Like, really? That's the best thing you could think of?